Hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing great today. In today's video, we will discuss about a company called Craftsman Automation Ltd. We will go through their business model, their recent results, and the Concall summary. So if you look at this company, right, so it's an auto ancillary and how to say high precision engineering company. They are based out of Coimbatore. So what this company is trying to do, right? So as their majority of the business depends on the automotive segment where they supply the parts to OEMs, what they're trying to do is they're trying to diversify their revenue so that they're not completely dependent, because we all know that the automotive sector is cyclical. So if you look at their business segment or where they generate their revenue from, so the first is Powertrain and others which they supply to automotive. Here they make products like cylinder blocks and gear heads, camshaft, transmission parts, gearbox housing, turbochargers, and bearing crash. And over here, they have major OEMs like Tata Motors, Daimler India, Mahindra and Mahindra, Ashok Leyland, you call it. They supply to all these major OEMs. And if we look at their second business segment, which is in aluminium products, but over here also, the customers are in the automotive segment only. So what do they do over here? So they manufacture aluminium die cast and sand cast components like crankcases for two wheelers, engine component, and structural parts for a vehicle, and gear box housing for heavy vehicles. And what is happening over here? So the demand is in this segment is mainly driven by, because the automotive industry is shifting toward lightweight materials, and obviously we know that aluminum is quite light, and so the demand for aluminum is also increasing. And the third and the new segment, right, where they are trying to diversify their revenue is industrial engineering and storage and solution system. So over here, the products includes material handling equipment, industrial gears and gearboxes, storage solutions, marine engines and equipment, and special purposes machines. So these are the main three segments where this company runs on and earns their revenue from. So let's look at their recent results. So they're in the Q3, their revenue was up by almost 30% to 2,057 crores, and their PAT was up by 477 percent to 107 crores, and their EBITDA margin compared to last year improved from 13% to 17%, and the PAT margin was up to 5% from 1% last year. And if you look at the growth in the various segments, right? So the powertrain segment, which is their main segment, grew by around 17.2%, which clearly shows that the automotive segment, especially the commercial vehicle segment, it still has yet to pick up. And if you look at the aluminium products, it has grown by 31%, which is quite a good sign, because as I said, right, as majority of the vehicles are, moving to be lightweight, and for lightweight, you need aluminium and not steel. So that's also a good sign for the company. At the same time, what the company has done, they have acquired another company called as Sunbeam in the northern part of India. So how to say, to expand their presence in the north of India, and obviously gain a more revenue from the aluminium side. And if you look at the industrial and engineering segment, which they have started recently in the past few years, it has grown by almost 57%. At this point of time, it's the contribution to the overall revenue is still quite less, but if we see that they are going exactly in the right direction. So let's look at the certain questions which were asked to the management and how did they answer. So the question was asked related to the aluminium segment, why the margins were down and what are the chances whether they'll improve. So the management was very clear. So the margins dip happened because of the new Shoolagiri plant which they have started. So in the first quarter they incurred some losses, but the production is ramping up, and the management is saying that by the end of Q2 of FY27 they expect the margins to improve. And the other question was asked, right, on the how to say the raw material prices of aluminium, because in the aluminium segment the raw material that they use is aluminium and the price fluctuates. So the management was quite clear that they have a pass-through agreement with the customer. So if any prices that increases, it is passed on to the customer. So they don't see any changes in that. In terms of alloy wheel utilization and margins on that, so the management was said that currently the capacity utilization is less than 50%, and the main reason is it's due to approvals and validation delays. So once that is sorted out, the management is saying that by the end of Q3 FY27, the margin should improve because the capacity utilization will go up by around 60 to 70%. And on the powertrain segment, the one of the question that was asking, like how the commercial vehicles are performing, because we need to understand that for Craftsman Automation, the powertrain segment is their biggest revenue generator. So if the commercial vehicle segment improves, the revenue will also improve. So over here, the management was quite honest that this segment has been muted uh, for quite a few years. But what they are seeing is, right, the tractors have started doing quite well, and the commercial vehicles are slowly, are slowly showing signs of recovery. So, and the other thing that they said is, right, the real benefit that they will get is like when the the Indian commercial vehicles will move to a higher engine gearbox standard as per the standards which are used globally. Because what happens when that happens, the value per vehicle improves, and that growth will by default benefit Craftsman Automation. And the other question was asked related to Sunbeam. So Sunbeam is another company which Craftsman Automation acquired. It is into aluminium aluminium products. And the reason that the company acquired this, because they wanted to expand their footprint in north of India and grow their aluminium business. So the management said that for this business, the heavy lifting is done, and the margins will grow into double digit from Q2 of FY27. And the other question that was asked was related to the margins in industrial and engineering segment, because the margins have improved drastically. The question was whether it's going to be sustainable or whether it's going to come down in the future. So the management was very bullish on this. They said that the operating leverage has started kicking in, and it's the margins are going to improve. It's not going to go down at all. And in terms, other thing which is said is, right, that they are the second largest player in static ranking in storage and solution segment. And the last question which was asked is, right, because we all know that the whole automotive industry is moving from ICE, which is internal combustion engine, to EV. So they're like, because this move is happening, so is the demand for aluminum is going to increase. So this is what the management had to say. So the management was bullish. They said, yes, the demand will increase as we move from ICE to hybrid to EV. But they said that in India, the increase will be quite gradual, because for this to happen, it requires new vehicle platform, and unless and until the OEM starts, manufacturing new vehicle platform, the requirement for aluminum will not change. So in India, it will be quite slow and not compared to the growth which is happening in the other parts of the world. So in terms of the overall growth for FY27, management did not give a direct number, but what they said is like that the industrial and engineering and storage solution system will grow in high single digits, and the aluminium segment will grow in high teens. So they are quite bullish of all on the growth, but they haven't given exact numbers. So we will wait for the Q4 results, how the company is performing and what are the exact number that they're giving for FY27. And if we in conclusion, I would say that the company is doing all the right things, because they are trying to reduce their dependence on the powertrain segment and diversify it, and they're taking the right steps. So let's see how well it goes in the future. I'll keep you posted. If you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you and God bless you.